Stand for pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
November 2nd, 2020, regular council meeting. Records show all members present and attorneys present. Motion to accept the minutes for October 19th and the executive session for October 27th.
Make a motion that we adopt the minutes from October 19th in the executive session.
Moved and seconded, we adopt October 19th and the executive session for October 27th minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Ordinance number 2020-014, an ordinance setting the rates and charges for the use and services rendered by the municipal water utility of the town of Kingsford Heights. Whereas the town of Kingsford Heights has caused a financial study of the municipal water utility to be performed by O.W. Cronin Associates. Got that bastard. CPAs and consultants, and whereas the study indicated that the rates and charges are not sufficient to meet the reasonable financial requirements for a water utility and should be amended, and whereas the town council of the town of Kingsford Heights, Indiana finds that the existing water rates and charges for the use of services rendered by the municipal water utility of the town are insufficient to enable the town to properly operate and maintain its water utility and to pay all the necessary expenses incident to the operation of said water utility, including but not limited to maintenance costs, operation charges, upkeep, repairs, depreciation, interest charges, and obligations of the waterworks, and whereas the existing rates and charges do not produce income sufficient to maintain the waterworks utility in a sound physical and financial condition to render adequate and efficient services. All as provided by Indiana Code 8-1.5-3-8, and the existing rates and charges should be increased. Now therefore be it ordained by the town council of the town of Kingsford Heights as follows. Rates and charges. The following rates and charges for the use of the services rendered by the waterworks system of the town based of the use and for the water supplied by the waterworks system is as follows. First 3,000 gallons, $12.42. Next 15,000 gallons, $4.70. Next 82,000 gallons, $4.26. Next 100,000 gallons, $2.75. Over 200,000 gallons, $2.05. Minimal charge. Each user shall pay a minimum charge in accordance with the following applicable size meter installed, for which the user will be entitled to the quantity and water set out in the above scheduled rates. 5/8 to 3/4 inch meter, 3,000 gallons, minimum monthly rate of $37.26. 1 inch meter, 10,800 gallons, $73.92. Inch and a half meter, 24,800 gallons, $136.73. 2 inch meter, 47,600 gallons, $233.86. 3 inch meter, 161,700 gallons, $626.76. 4 inch meter, 394,500 gallons, $1,130.81. 6 inch meter, 1,343,800 gallons, $3,076.87. Fire protection service, municipal hydrants per hydrant per annum, $293.34. Private hydrants, $293.34. Private sprinklers per hydrant, $1,372.30. Tap charge, Prior to the connection of the water system, tap charge shall be collected from each customer in the amount of equal cost of labor and material necessary for tapping the main, installation of service, the main of the curb stop, and the cost furnishing and installing the suitable water meter. Charge for 5/8 to 3/4 inch meter tap shall be $1,500. The charge for 1 inch or larger shall be the labor and material cost incurred, and in no event shall the charge in the connection be less than $1,500. Collection of deferred payment charge. All bills for water service not paid within 17 days from the due date thereof, as stated in such bills, shall be subject to collection or deferred payment charge of 10% on the first $3 and 3% on the excess over $3. Temporary users. Water furnished to temporary users such as contractors, circuses, etc. shall be charged on a basis of the above quantity rates as estimated by the waterworks superintendent. The town council hereby elects to receive payment in lieu of taxes from the waterworks. The town council elects to earn a reasonable return on the waterworks plant. All prior ordinances passed by town setting the rates and charges for the waterworks utility for the town are hereby repealed, including ordinance 92.5, entitled an ordinance amending the rates and charges for the uses and services rendered to the municipal utility of the town of Kingsford Heights, Indiana. Ordinance shall go into effect January 1st, 2021. Motion to pass ordinance 2020-14 on its first reading.
I make a motion that we pass ordinance number 2020-14 on its first reading.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we pass ordinance 2020-14 on its first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 2 for, 2 against. President breaks a tie with an aye. Ordinance 2020-14 passes on its first reading. Jason.
In your packet there, I just passed around the apprenticeship program that we discussed with possibly sending Vic. I did get him out the day after our meeting. Got him out here on one of these 40-foot poles, got him all the way to the top. He did really well for, I guess he's climbed a couple times in the past, but he hadn't climbed in a while, and I thought he did a pretty good job for just climbing a couple times. And like I was telling him, the class, it's not really like a speed race or anything like that. They just want you to be able to get up and down and do what you need to do on the pole. So, and then I had mentioned at the in the meeting there, cost was around $10,000. As you see here, we're part of the safety program member, and before they only had the IMEA member and the non-member price. So, I mean, it's almost cut it in half for the safety program member. And I believe that number you can't see at the bottom. I didn't realize it cut it off. I think it's $5,175. That was for the total of the class, textbooks and study guides, and all that good stuff.
Do they bill that up front or is it in sections?
It's annually, I believe they bill you, so say the first class, they'll bill you for that and the $500 study guide and then the textbooks, which the textbooks would be just a one-time deal. So, and then after that, it's It's just annually, every class you go to.
Do you have a start date on that?
I do, it is, right here, April the 19th through the 30th. It's the last 2 weeks of April. And the way that works is he would go down Sunday night, typically, because it's usually a pretty good drive. And then Friday, he would come back for the weekend, and then he goes back down Sunday night until Friday again. And then, like I said, the first year is the 2 weeks, and then after that, it's just a week.
Just a 4-year class.
4 years, yep. And then during the time that he's back, he has assignments, quizzes, and task sheets, things that he has to keep, and that he proof that he did it, and supervisor sign, and things like that. So I guess I'm asking to get permission in April to, or I think sign up, they said should be coming out sometime in November, but get Vic signed up for this. If I could get a motion to approve.
See what I for one don't have any problem sending people to training and doing it, but I would like to see us make an employment contract where if he does not pass, or, you know, the town gets their money back.
Is he employed with the town right now?
Yes.
We
And-
have monies for this.
Yeah. Especially over a 4-year period.
Yeah, it's actually, I mean, like I said, since they cut that down,
That's half the
you
price
really
they told us
cannot,
before.
there's no way you're gonna get anybody sent to us.
But I was even thinking, I know we talked before, you know, maybe getting the money back, but keeping him after the class, you know, for, you know, 4 or 5 years or whatever, you know, an employment contract, we're sending you to school, you can get your alignment and stuff, but we want to keep you on site here for the next 4 years or so.
Yeah, the way we did it in Walkerton, it was 3 years after you had to stay.
Mhm.
And then basically every month you stayed after took a 1/36 off of the, so basically every month you got a month credit afterwards. So it came off of the price kind
So
of
my
thing.
piece would say,
Yeah.
what?
Well, yeah, I'm for sending him for training.
You make a motion,
Well, we need to,
didn't get a contract.
I think we need to do it.
We got time.
Contract, and I think we can, let's think about that and put it on the table for the next meeting. What we can kind of talk amongst each other. And, the term of service and getting the money back if he doesn't complete the class.
Well, we're looking at about, what, 2 or 3 more meetings before the end of the year?
Oh, yeah, but this doesn't even take effect until,
April, yeah, and I can get you signed up, yeah.
You
whatever.
may actually know the sign-up date by then.
Yeah, they don't even have, yeah, you can't even sign up, and he said until maybe mid-November, so. We're good.
we'll do
I
that,
just wanna get on it and make sure we got some information and all that
do
good
that
stuff.
at the next meeting.
So I got some little tidbits of information. When I got here, our water plant was averaging about 170,000 gallons a day. I mentioned to the guys that that wasn't normal when I left here. We always averaged around 100,000 gallons a day. So to me, that meant we were losing about 70,000 gallons somewhere out there. And typically, when you run the plant and you know your usage every day, if I'm using 100,000 and it jumps to 130, you know, I might let it go for a day or two because it'll jump up occasionally. But you got like a week, or I mean, you know you got a leak. You got to start looking for a leak somewhere, you know. So I tracked it down. It appears November of 2017, we started a leak And I don't remember when we got it fixed. I think it was in May. It was either late spring or early summer. We found 2 leaks actually out there on Belvoir. The transformers
In
and stuff.
17?
Yeah, since 2017 they've been leaking.
Yo.
70,000 gallons a day. So with that being said, we averaged at that point in time 4.4 million gallons in a month. Currently now after we fixed the leaks, we're back to our 100,000, 93,000 is about where we've been at lately. So, you know, we went from the 170 to 93. That basically cut our usages of chemicals, electricity, wear and tear on all of our pumps, all that stuff, almost in half. So we went from the 4.4 million a month, and if we stay where we're at now, we're looking at like 2.9 million. So we were losing 1.5 million gallons a month. This is all estimated stuff from me going through it. So in that period of time, I estimated we lost 43.2 million gallons of water in that leak. And that was just due to just let it jump up and nobody cared to look for a leak. And I mean, like I said, if you're running the plant, you know when it jumps, I mean, a couple days is fine, but you get a week or whatever, you know, you gotta start looking for a leak somewhere. So, that was just my little tidbit of information to share with you guys.
That's a lake.
It's fixed though, so we're back to
Ocean.
saving money and not wasting water.
That was the one where you found 2 and found.
We found 2, we fixed it, and then it repressurized, and then another one busted out the next day. So we fixed 3 leaks there, and that took care of the issue.
Randy.
Construction has started down at the wastewater plant. Some days it's chaotic, I got people pulling me in different directions. But we started excavation and we found some surprises. A lot of our conduits are at the end of their life cycle. They're rusted out, there's holes in them. So with the trench being opened up, I asked the contractor if we could come behind him and lay down some conduits. And he basically said to stay out of the trench. But then he came back and said if we had materials, he would do it free of charge. So we had over 400 foot of conduit put in for about $140. And that's just for future repairs. But that's all I have.
Yeah, there were some serious holes in that conduit. What was left of it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Swiss cheese.
It's duct tape.
Yeah. Yeah, it was by the building. Is that dumpster able to be used yet, or?
Yes, it can be used now.
Okay, I'll put that back up here, because I told people they could use the community center and the park one and stuff
Yeah,
earlier.
they got the trenches filled in and stuff, so it can be used again.
Okay. Good job. You'll be busy through March. Marshall Farley.
Well, let's just have some information stuff. My family and I have relocated to the county, so we are closer by than 2 hours away. Just things in the office of getting uniforms, vehicles together, cleaning up, sorting through things, finding a lot of things that need repaired, fixed, not operational. So I'm just working on that currently, not getting too much done besides cleaning and things. A note, just today alone, I've dealt with 2 loose dogs on the same street. So that's obviously becoming a problem right off the bat for me. So we'll be taking care of that as much as possible. I also will be looking into options with Dispatch Center and IDAX in the coming weeks. We got to come up with a coordinator plan at some point. So I'll be looking into that. moving forward with that, trying to get everything set up so we can provide the right service.
That's a big job to do.
That's all I got.
All right. Welcome aboard. You're in Westville now, right?
Yes.
So you've got your car and everything?
Yep.
Talk about the reports that you needed for the,
Yep. Yeah, that's the IDAX that I'll be looking into. Yeah.
Okey-dokey. We did find one of the batteries in the cars that was needed replaced. Wallen Auto went ahead and warranted it through the dealership and stuff and replaced that. And then there was a 4-inch crack in the windshield on one of the cars that we didn't notice. We got a hold of Debbie Blake and we got a no deductible or anything on windshields, and she contacted the place in Valpo and they're supposed to be here this week to come in and fix it right in the garage. So he did quite a bit of work, but it hasn't cost us really any money and stuff as far as the vehicles go right now. Building inspector,
Not much to report this time. A little slow.
that's your report, not much report this time.
That's it.
Fire department.
so, unfortunately for tonight, I do not have a run call or a sheet for all the calls that we've done for the last month because we just got back from a fire from KOP. ISO was here on the 21st. She was here for a total of 5 hours. She went through stuff with fine tooth comb, went through every truck, all the paperwork. As Brian knows how that goes.
All too well.
Yeah, I was sweating bullets the entire time. She worked with us on a lot of stuff. Training was a big thing. Going through that, we gave her what we had. She went through and did hydrants. The hydrants that luckily she picked did good. The issue we have with the hydrants after that is she did point out that the report that I got from the town this year and our report from last year don't match up. She has a
I was afraid of that.
yeah. The thing is with the hydrants, if they're below 500 GPM, they're no good to NFPA standards and our standards. We cannot use them.
Okay.
We have a lot of them that are below 500 GPM. They have to be 500 or above for her to qualify them. So she was going through that. There are a few hydrants on here and stuff that say they're good, and our report says they're not. I mean, there's parts missing on them. And the other thing is that we noticed and bought up that the structure fire we had back in the summer on the 400 block of Dartmoor, we had to request one of the second pumps be turned on so it was able to feed the engine enough to fight that fire. So that's kind of a concern there. And
Yeah, and we went back to that hydrant after that and didn't have no issues. And I know when he first turned the hose on and the pumper on or whatever, it was, from what I heard, yeah, it had nothing. And then all of a sudden it shot up and
then, like another example, the hydrant that actually sits right out in front of the fire station.
yeah.
When you hook the truck up to it through a 5-inch LDH, you open the side manifold, it sucks it down immediately. There's not enough pressure to feed that truck
Really?
at idle. So that's kind of concerning there too. We got both of those. You guys want copies of those? Okay, I'll hand those.
I'm worried that in the past, some of the valves have been shut off trying to isolate things, and we've lost some loops and lines possibly, so we're not,
That makes sense.
we're feeding from one direction. That's my thoughts on some of these.
Could be two, because the other thing we discovered too, right down here by Bryce Road, that one that's on the corner there in Wayland. If you open that one up, it kills all water pressure, all those houses over there. They lose everything.
Yeah, because that
Every time we
is,
open it, we get complaints and they're calling us.
I believe that's dead-ended out there, is why, I want to say.
Can we do a GPM test when we do the,
We never have, no, not as,
That's,
They couldn't do it, that's why we were doing it.
town doesn't have the equipment, the town doesn't have the equipment to do that? No?
we do. That's another thing she asked too,
Well,
is every
somehow
year.
we gotta get together and,
That's, every year she requested too that they be flow tested and pressure tested. Every year they have to be. We have to have them on file.
Somewhere the fire department and the town's gotta get together and stuff, so they know what they can hook up to and what they can't hook up to, just for safety purposes.
Well, the hydrants, I know that Randy had been going through servicing a lot of the hydrants.
Yeah, they
Got a lot
fixed
of
quite a
working.
few before I got
Did
here.
the fire department go through and test those water department, or those to get to update the list?
I never got a list of which ones were fixed.
Well, just whatever, I mean, that list that we did should be what's working currently. I mean, there may be a couple on
We
there.
don't know enough work on.
So that's where the ISO, that's why I said the ISO was one of the most important things that we could do. And we didn't communicate between each other to make sure that this got done, because the fire department needs to go out and test those to find out what the GPMs are. And if we had a zero, or if they, I'm sorry, if they had a zero on it from before because we couldn't get it open because of using an extended bar or something like that, we wouldn't have been able to have a GPM, but I think that's where the cross is gonna be. Was it Irene that came? Would she, you still have a certain amount of time that you can send in information to her. We might be able to get the hydrant thing taken care of so that all the GPMs and everything are given to her so that they do match, because we're gonna take a huge hit. We're gonna take a huge hit on that. Anytime.
Well, see, we just, like, they may have did the GPM last year or something on them, but this year, we, like I said, we didn't have no equipment or nothing. We
She did advise if we go down, she will work with us for a year to get it back up.
Do you have a list of the ones you fixed, Randy?
If I did, I gotta find it. Yeah.
Would you know the one, you know the ones you fixed,
I
right?
was gonna say, I know
Make
Vic
a-
knows some of them
make a
that
list
they
of that
fixed,
we
because he
can,
mentioned when we were flushing that
I
you
know.
guys fixed
Well,
this one,
this
and you
one right
fixed
out
that,
here
you
is
know.
fixed. And
Or he
that's the one
thought
she-
some
that's
of
the one
them
she
they
pointed
need
out,
you guys
That
to
one
fix.
is flying colors. So,
Well, we need to put a priority on that, because this deals with, the ISO ratings will deal with your insurance ratings on your house. And you could very easily have insurance ratings that double very quickly and stuff if they, and for most of us here that are homeowners and stuff, you're talking about $1,000 a year to go $2,000 a year very quickly because of things. So if we can get with the fire department, get with this list that Dwayne's got, he's gonna make us all one, and see if we can get that corrected. And maybe you can, if you get time to come in and talk with Jason and Randy and.
So what's the thing, do they want us to flow test them?
No, what happens is they have to determine how much water is being supplied for a structure fire to see if it's sufficient enough to be able to to make sure that the fire is able to be properly put out. If not, you have to have a tanker plan that's in place, which that's what you do out of this
we
county.
already have.
To make sure, which they already have, so the county's been taking care, the county was fine, the county was, but it's the in-town that's gonna be a problem, because what she's saying is there's not enough flow to some of these hydrants to be able to even put out a fire. Like you said, 500 gallons a minute, we can use it, however, it's not sufficient enough to drop the
Get the
water.
score or whatever you need.
To get the score that you need.
So, but in the future, annually, we should be flow testing these and/or flow testing them when we flush them.
Yep.
And
Maybe
so
when
originally,
we,
that's why the fire department actually took it over several years back in order to make sure that we had those GPMs and all that other good stuff that goes along with it. We even wrote what kind of hydrant it was and all the other good.
Yeah, I've got all that
Yeah.
information, the hydrant, what ears it's got, what, you know,
Right.
all that good stuff, whether it works, doesn't work, it's hard to turn, need to use a pipe wrench. I mean, we've got all the information, we
Yeah,
just,
'cause
we don't have them flow tested or pressure
technically,
tested.
if we went by the NFPA standards and stuff, every hydrant is actually supposed to be color-coded on the bell by its GPM flow. Between, I think it's green, yellow, red, and blue
Mhm.
is what it's supposed to be.
go out with you when you guys do your flushing, and we can have them
Test them,
tested and everything at the same time.
yeah.
They do that at late at night.
Yeah, we meet every Tuesday at 6 PM, so.
Well, we'll
So you guys gotta
get,
get together.
we'll get something going.
Works with me, anytime. The other thing, going through town to give you guys a heads up, every public building and commercial building that is in town, we have to go through and get a updated pre-plan on paper, and we have to do a walkthrough on them every year. She wants that done every year now. So, just to give you guys a heads up, we might be knocking on doors and stuff, asking when's a good time to come in and do that. But other than that, the ISO, everything else was fine. She was very cooperative and very helping with us, which she technically didn't have to do. The last thing I have is I have the town contracts for the year 2021 for $37,198. I have 2 copies, just as long as we get one signed, one back at some point. These 2, and that's all I have for tonight. Unless you guys got anything else for us.
We okay to do this as a meeting, or you wanna wait until next one? Next?
Definitely, I don't think we get the first check from that one until July anyway.
You're going to do that in the regular budget.
Yes, that's all right.
Yeah.
Good?
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you.
I'm looking at it, you know, I'm
Randy, you guys said you need some paperwork back?
Yep, thank you.
Any old business? Any new business? Clerk's report.
Let's see. Veterans Day, so the office will be closed, and that's, the next thing, our next meeting has to be changed because I won't be here. I need a November 23rd as your regular meeting.
November 23rd is the regular meeting?
Yeah, I want to move that one.
You wanna move it to what date? The 23rd
23rd. yeah.
Regular 16th.
Regular meeting.
Move it from the
to
16th.
the 23rd? Okay.
Because I won't be here that week, or on the,
Good. You don't need,
In California, hopefully.
well, watch the fire. Okay. Just advertise it, some good movie. Attorney's report.
I am still waiting for your financial advisors to do the electrical increase, to do all the data with that tiered approach that you want to do. I received a phone call from them on Wednesday saying that they're still working on getting all the data put together so that we can do the ordinance. And the lift station, I'm going to finalize that document and then I'll give it to you so that you can pass it on to the other side and make sure that they're going to with it.
Okay. Public comments? Any public comments? Motion to adjourn.
whatever it's named.
Have a motion to adjourn.
Next meeting.